Welcome back to the docuseries. This is part 2, finishing up the traffic collision and the fallout that followed. Before we move forward, we want to remind the audience of a few key takeaways from that encounter. Because what happened on December 17, 2024 wasn't just about a fender bender. It was about escalation without cause. It was about an officer recognizing me from an investigation I was never told about. It was about rights being ignored and suspicion being manufactured. No citation was issued. No crime was committed. But what came after was far more dangerous than any traffic report. It opened the door to something bigger, something targeted, something political. And it's here, in the aftermath, that the city's pattern begins to unfold. Let's finish what they started.
You're pulling me. What do you want me to do?
I know, but
you want to just take that off?
You're gonna fall
Would it be easier for you? You could just untie it. And then...
Do you want her to take this?
Yeah, could you please?
You're not gonna get cold?
No, yeah, it is cold. I want it.
No, I'm talking to him.
Well,
And it's his.
This wasn't the first time Officer Ibarra and McKean's wife had a tense exchange. And unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last. We don't know why Ibarra has consistently chosen to escalate things with her, but the pattern speaks for itself. What began as attitude turned into bias, and what started as passive hostility would eventually grow into something much worse. In the episodes ahead, you'll see that Ibarra's conduct wasn't just unprofessional. It played a direct role in tearing McKean's life apart. In this next moment, you'll hear me say it. Clearly, unmistakably, I do not consent to any searches or seizures. Let's talk about what that means, because that phrase isn't just symbolic, it's legal, it's constitutional. The Fourth Amendment protects your body, just like it protects your home or your phone. That means you have the right to say no, especially when it comes to physical contact. Officer McCormick isn't a doctor. He's not a paramedic. And even if I had been under arrest, which I wasn't, that still wouldn't give him the right to conduct an unauthorized medical check. You could be high. You could be passed out. You could be screaming nonsense. And still, they are not allowed to put hands on your body without clear legal justification or medical necessity. But McCormick didn't care. He reached out, grabbed my wrist, and tried to take my pulse, against my will, without a warrant and without a medical emergency. That's not just unconstitutional, that's assault. And here's what most people don't realize. When an officer steps outside the law and crosses that line, they can lose qualified immunity. That's how civil rights cases are won. That's how officers get sued personally. He thought he was checking a pulse. What he really did was cross a constitutional line. Let's take a look at how the rest of this stop finished up. Despite the pressure, and despite the presence of more aggressive officers nearby, the one who actually performed the field sobriety tests on McKean made an effort to do it by the book. He asked for consent, even knowing it was under duress. But he asked. And we noticed. Officers like Bobby, and even his partner, Michael Orozco, who's named in this lawsuit, tried to operate with at least some level of integrity. McKean believes that both Bobby and Orozco likely prevented the situation from escalating further, possibly even protected him from being roughed up by other officers in the department. So we say this directly. Thank you, Bobby, for trying, for doing what you could. This department would run a lot better if officers like you were the ones in charge. But unfortunately, that's not how the Blythe Police Department operates. As of this recording, McKean has learned that Officer Orozco is no longer with the department. And that matters, because it goes to the heart of what this entire lawsuit and this series is about. The city of Blythe operates with impunity. Officers with integrity get pushed out, while those who break not only civil rights but state and federal law get promoted or protected. This series was created to shed light on those patterns, so that officers like Orozco and Bobby don't have their careers hijacked or their scenes erased just for doing the right thing. This isn't about hate for police. It's about holding corrupt systems accountable and giving credit to the ones who still show up with integrity.
What's up, McCormick? It's like a dream scenario for you. No, I'm good.
Okay, stick your
I
tongue
don't agree to any searches or seizures, and I don't. No, I'm good.
Okay, stick your tongue
I don't agree to any searches or seizures, and I don't.
As we close this chapter, there's one last scene we want to show you. You'll watch McKean calmly ask for the names and badge numbers of 4 remaining officers still on scene. By then, both Sergeant Leon and Detective McCormick had already left, which brings the confirmed number of officers captured on camera to 6. But according to McKean, and based on what we now know, at least 2 to 4 more officers also responded but were never seen on video. That puts the potential total close to 10. 10 officers. For what was never a traffic stop. No stop was conducted, no citation was issued, no arrest was made. It was a non-incident, a routine, minor collision that didn't require police presence at all once the scene was safe. So the question we leave you with is simple. Was this really about public safety? Or did someone say McKean's name over the radio? Because what played out here doesn't look like protocol. It looks like coordination. And when that many officers respond to someone who filed complaints, ran for office, and challenged the system, you start to realize this wasn't about the car.
Well, you know.
Deputies are usually by themselves, right?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. Like you've been here a year. If you are who you say you are, don't let them fucking corrupt you, dude. Because I'm promising you, one thing's either going to be true. There's a lot more good guys that you work with that you think, or I'm right. There's a lot more bad ones. Don't let them influence you if I'm right. And if you're right, thank God. That makes me happy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, my partner's going to get his camera and then we'll be out of here. Hope next time we meet on a more positive note.
Well, I mean, like I said, this all.
I hope this was a positive interaction.
This whole year, this is like the 12th incident. About 12.
Our incident, I can't talk on any of those. I hope this incident, me and you and our interaction was a positive.
Yes, until your other buddies came and started violating my rights and throwing me in cuffs and taking my camera. That's like such an easy lawsuit. It's amazing to me like that this city doesn't get sued more often. And I know people. My biggest issue with this police department is there's too many bad apples now, and they're harassing too many people. And then I've seen it firsthand, and it happened to me.
Well, I recommend you go on a ride along.
Why? How would that stop?
Because you're seeing a lot of it in the past. I'm hearing a lot of that. So
No,
there's a lot of new people here, and I don't see that. So I recommend to you go on a ride along.
You heard me call McCormick out, who I know he got pissed because I told him that's why your vehicle's seen in court site drinking at the bar in a company vehicle that you shouldn't even be up there with.
I can't speak on that. I'm not.
Yeah, he's the worst fucking cop on the police.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, like I said, man, I think I might just see things from a certain angle, but I think in your first year you probably already witnessed something that you might tilt your head about. And like I said, everything should be done by the book now. You guys all have business cards?
I don't, but I can write it down for you.
Yeah, can you write down everybody that was at this stop for me? I know there was McCormick, but I want the one that put me in cuffs. Alright, we're good? Mind if I get all your names and badge numbers, please?
I'm Officer Valdivia, X218.
You, sir?
Officer Stefano, X222.
You, ma'am? Barra? Can I get yours, sir?
Yeah, no problem.
202. And the last one I need is the one that threw me in cuffs. Is that the one that was here, Sergeant Leonis? That's what I needed to know. Perfect. Are you guys good? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm so deadly.
And then your wife's gonna follow you home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get gas with her real quick and then we'll come back. I don't want to get shot, so I don't even want to go buy it.
In early 2024, we released this video of Detective McCormick. At the time, it was just another piece of the puzzle, another example of the behavior we'd been documenting. But something tells us it got to him more than we thought. Because what followed wasn't accountability. It was escalation.
I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after.
3 days after the incident, McKean followed up on his complaints. After more than a year of harassment, traffic stops, surveillance, intimidation, he sat down and wrote directly to the city manager on December 20th, 2024. In that message, he made 2 simple requests. I need to submit a FOIA request for the body cam footage of 5 officers. Could you please guide me to the correct form and let me know what information will be required? He attached a screenshot of the form he found on the city's website, asking whether it was the right one to use. Then he asked something even more important. I would also like to follow up on my previous complaints. Who reviews them? What actions are being taken? Because so far, I've heard nothing. He warned that the harassment had escalated again that week, and that his safety was at risk. He ended with a question the city never answered. Would it help if I presented all this evidence at a city council meeting? Should I contact the county district attorney? What's the right way to hold officers accountable? But they never answered that either. Because in Blythe, silence isn't just common, it's policy. With the encounter behind him, McKean turned his attention to something simple, something routine, something any citizen should be able to get without a fight: the traffic collision report. He hired a lawyer, asked her to act as a buffer, to make the request formally, professionally, to shield him from further retaliation while following the process. Weeks passed, then months. No report, no fault determination, no progress. By March 6th, nearly 3 months later, the law firm finally responded. Not with answers, but with a letter. A letter saying they could not obtain the report. A letter marking the end of their involvement. McKean asked his lawyer one simple question, the only thing he really hired her to do. Did you get the report? The answer was no. That report, a basic public collision summary, would eventually prove that the other driver was at fault. But it took McKean more than 6 months to get that confirmed in writing. 6 months of blocked claims, 6 months with no car, 6 months of silence. And here's where the timing becomes more than coincidence. That letter from the law firm was dated March 6th. McKean was arrested 4 days later. You decide whether that's unrelated. After months of silence, delays, and dead ends, McKean did something that changed the tone of the entire story. He let the lawyer go. 3 months of stalled communication, 3 months of failure to get a basic traffic report, 3 months of polite requests, and 0 answers. So, on March 18th, 2025, McKean reached out directly to the city himself. He wrote, "Dear Ms. Bush, my name is Garrett McKean, and I am reaching out regarding a police report for an accident I was involved in on December 17th, 2024. My attorney has attempted to obtain this report over the past several months without success. As it has now been over 3 months, the delay in receiving this report is causing me ongoing financial hardship. I would greatly appreciate your guidance on how I can obtain a copy of this report directly and any clarification as to why there has been a delay in its release. Additionally, I would like to request information on the process for obtaining any available police body camera footage related to this incident." By this point, the message was clear. The excuses were over. The city wasn't just stonewalling a lawyer anymore. They were stonewalling a citizen, one who was ready to hold them accountable. Let's see what the city says next. 3 months after the incident, McKean reached out directly to the city after his attorney failed to get results. What came back was something no one expected, or maybe exactly what you'd expect from Blythe. Pamela Bush, records supervisor, stated plainly, "Blythe PD Records Bureau does not have a request from an attorney on your behalf." Let that sink in. After months of delays, unanswered questions, and growing frustration, the city claims, flat out, that McKean's lawyer never submitted a request. But was that true? McKean says no. He had asked his attorney to act as a buffer, to protect him from retaliation and acquire the report directly. He has the emails, the conversations, and yet the city now claims no record exists. Instead, they point to LexisNexis, an insurance database, not legal counsel, as the only source of request, and they insist the report was mailed off on January 14, 2025, quietly, without notifying McKean, without giving him any path to contest the delay. But that wasn't even the most insulting part. They denied body-worn camera footage altogether, citing Government Code 6254F2, arguing that since no gun was fired or bones were broken, the public has no right to see it. It's a playbook. Delay the report, deny the footage, claim the lawyer never existed, then call it transparency. After receiving that denial, McKean didn't let it go. He filed a CPRA request to get to the bottom of it, and what he uncovered changed everything. The city's response, that they had no record of a request from his attorney, was a lie. Internal emails later revealed that not only was the request received, but both the chief of police and the city manager personally saw it. They reviewed it, and they decided to stonewall it. They ignored McKean's attorney, ignored the clear paper trail, and ignored their duty to release the report, all while pretending it never happened. And remember, this wasn't in a vacuum. Just 3 weeks earlier, McKean had warned the city about ongoing retaliation. He begged for help, asked if corrupt officers would ever be held accountable. So you decide, was the city acting in good faith? Or was this part of a pattern? Delay, deny, and retaliate every time someone gets too close to the truth. So what started as a simple traffic collision has now unraveled into a full-blown cover-up. False reports, hidden footage, ignored attorneys, and a department scrambling to protect its own instead of doing what's right. But we're not done. Not even close. In the next episode of the docuseries, we'll expose how far the retaliation went, who gave the orders, who followed them, and who turned a blind eye while civil rights were trampled. This is no longer about one man and one incident. It's about a city that's been allowed to operate in the shadows for far too long. Stay tuned, because when the truth finally hits daylight, there will be no turning back. Subscribe, share, and follow. This is just the beginning.